Good morning and good afternoon, peeps. Obviously, today is going to be a trading recap and just a trading live on top of that, just to go over essentially what's happening. You know, what's been happening and what is to come. What's up, Pete? I don't know if that's me or that's someone else, but I'll take that. I don't know if that's me. Let's get to it. So essentially, right now, guys, I trade the Asian session. Asian session now. And just before I move on from this, I just want to explain this trade a bit. So with this trade here, the reason why I actually took a buy here and not here is because here was more confirmed, if that makes sense. I quickly just clear this back area, go 1 hour just to see why I marked out the certain areas. So why I marked out these areas right here is I think initially prices breaking through this area here. Usually with that, I put a box at the start of the wick. Then I go down onto the 30-minute, then the 5-minute, and I kind of just make it more accurate. So these are where all the boxes are. The colors mean different things in terms of the yellow is probably the hour. Yeah, the hour boxes. As for the orange is probably the 30-minute and probably lower than that. Essentially, from here, guys, the reason why I took this buy, my second buy instead of the first buy, is because the first buy was just a forward test, just to see what price would do if price was to actually hit a 1 hour support, which it ended up pushing up. But it just wasn't so confident. As you can see, price just drooling down here. I wasn't too sure if price was going to like shoot down and then shoot back up. So I was rather waiting for a stronger and just better confirmation, which was right here. So essentially with this, guys, I expected price just to come up all the way to 241. Although the news didn't necessarily match up with what was happening. And also not fundamentals, the indices such as like the CNC, let me double check here. Orange list, the CNC, CN1, sorry, the ASX, they weren't really matching up at this time. In terms of ASX, it was kind of matching up because price was pushing up on AUD. So since Australia 200 cash is pushing up, it's looking pretty good for taking a buy on AUD JPY. But as for the Chinese, I'm pretty sure it's pushing down. It's coming down. So essentially the indices and stuff like that weren't matching up. So with this, I was honestly looking for a short trade. I do have to understand that I don't have too much time in this trade, but I did expect price just to make a bit of a move, which it did here. So essentially with this, guys, price pushed up, came back down, then came back up here, and I was like, you know what? I low-key missed taking out this area because this area is matched up with a 1 hour resistance somewhere else. And since price is like not too strong about itself, I just was looking for practically a small trade, and I didn't have too much faith in this, but in the area which I entered, I was pretty confident. So essentially with this, took a buy, took out here. It was only a small, like what, 0.5, not even 0.76, because I took out like 50% of my profit. Yeah, in the end, that's what all the trades I took for today, as Euro AUD wasn't looking too sharp and too great, so I just left it at that. But I figured I have just a new sort of setup that I usually take now, which is on the 1 minute, and it is on Asian session, and it's just a specific setup called a break and retest. You guys, oh, sorry, it's a black screen. Apologies for that. I was just chatting away. Oh, this is a black screen, or am I tripping? Give me 1 second. It is not a black screen. Cool. So essentially, let me just finish this. Hold on. So essentially, it's called a break and retest setup. Very simple, but I just do a couple things on the 1 hour, which gives me like a small scalp or just a pretty big scalp, just to see the direction of where price is headed. So let's just say we go back in time. My goal for today was just to explain the trade I took today, and also just to go back in time and just to test out the strategy, just to see the win rate you can say, and just see how it's overall performing. We're going to go back way back. We're going to go all the way back to not 2024. We're going to go days. We're going to go back days, collective days, which is probably years. We're going to go back to 2020, somewhere there. We're going to go on the 1 hour. We're going to see if we can implement it at any time and see how it rolls and how it fares. So starting with this, it's 6 o'clock. Price is about, Asian session is about to open right now. And right now I'm honestly looking for buys, but I do have to keep in mind that there's a strong sell here, another selling area here, another selling area here, another selling area here. Now I just go to the 4 hour real quick, just to see if any one of them are 4 hour resistance, which this one is, so I change to dark blue. As for the others, I keep them yellow. That's how I start with my laying out of support and resistance. Next thing I do, guys, is I also go to the 30-minute, just to make these more accurate, you can say, more specific. Boom. And the reason why I have this little gap and not a massive gap, or whatever the case is purely because Raja Banks, I think his name was, he just does something like this, so I just copied him. Next thing, I think this is looking for a great sell, purely because, I was about to say purely because this was the first daily open, but since the daily open is actually here, it could go for a buy. But we do need to see a clean breakout, and these are one of the greatest setups I can see right here. Definitely could get fucked up still, regardless. But I do want to say the reason why I think it's a great setup is purely because price is breaking above it. Do I know the science and shit behind this? No, I do not. Do I care? No, I do not. Point is, this is what I'm doing, and it's been doing not too bad. That's what I'm gonna say. It's doing not too bad. So what I usually do from here, go on the 1 minute. All right. I usually do extra things just to make sure I'm on the right track, and just and have practically the confidence that the setup is pretty good. I also measure the top here, right? The reason why I measure the top here is purely because when price breaks through this area, I expect price to do something like this. Boom, come back, and then continue pushing up. But it has to touch this blue area. When I say have to, it sometimes does. But you'll see. You'll just see. I'll explain it as I go. Next thing I also do during this time is I check what the China stocks and all that extra shit is doing. Just because if China goes up, never mind. China's markets, I'm not letting them switch to it. Okay, so if the Asian stocks are going up, AUD is going to be stronger, just etc. etc. So I'm just going to change this to the line graph just to see what's happening. Okay, price had a sharp rise. I would expect the sharp rise to continue breaking through this area, but currently right now price is still, I mean, it could potentially switch to an uptrend from here, but right now it looks like it's currently in a downtrend still, sort of, kind of, something like that. Anyway, since we've kind of checked these things and it showed us essentially what's happening, like AXY price is breaking through as well, had a sharp rise, so we're expecting price to break structure and continue pushing up. New trend. So since we know buys are looking good for AUDJPY as well, it's great. We like to also check the news on this date, which I won't do today. Fuck it. I'll just go off the information that I know now. And then like you just be patient. You just wait. If we have a sharp rise right now, when Asian sessions opens, it's going to be looking pretty good. If price happens in an hour time after Asian or 2 hours, it's also pretty good. Let's just see what happens. So price goes the complete other way. What I've got to do is I got to check the 1 hour. This could have spoiled everything. Hopefully not. Okay, kind of spoils it. Whatever. Essentially, what you do is you measure the previous. You do practically do the same thing to below, the other way. So since price is breaking down, this is kind of cheating because I can see the whole 1 hour candle. What I would expect price to do in this situation is I would expect price to necessarily, you know, break through, come back here, and continue pushing down. What price did was it broke through, and then the second candle came all the way back up in the area and continued pushing down in one candle, one minute candle. So these are the ones where you have to just make your judgment, like it's all on you in terms of if you would like to take it or not. But since you can say that sort of counts, I will also count a trade like this. So price continues to push down here. I would expect it to continue tumbling. But first, before I do this, I'll also mark out the next area because that will be my TP sort of take profit area, you can say. Just make sure it lines up. It lines up, cool. So what I'm gonna do now, since price, I already see the move, but essentially what price did here, I'll also measure how far price moves. So price moved only 10%. I would expect price to come back at 20% at least. Since price is at 20%, we just keep that in mind. Since price obviously came, touched here, came back, it is pretty small, and sometimes when it's pretty small like this, it's not the best look, but you just want price to sort of break through, retest, and push back down. From here, guys, we're just going to wait for the next candle to break down. Cool, nice breakdown candle. I'm going to take a sell, and usually I'll put the sell above here, but since there's another high on the 1 minute, I'm just going to put it right above there, and we're just going to hold this trade all the way at least to here or to the next support. So sure, I'll do something like this. I'll let you know my thought process as we go down, and as you can see here, guys, it's literally simply I only have 3 pips or 2.5 pips stop loss. And sometimes with this, I do make it a bit bigger. Just like, okay, it's a bit smaller. Let's just make it 3, just to give a price a bit more room if price wants to play around a bit. The reason why I am actually having a take profit here is purely because price was looking like it wanted to push up on the ASX and just the AXY. So just off those 2 other confluences that price, I would like to believe, tends to match. You don't want to really hold this. You want to go in the direction price is dictating in the other ones. So since it's saying buy on the indexes and sell on ADJPY for the setup, you more so just want to have a take profit and also take out after probably hits 20% if price doesn't draw down. So let's see what happens. Drew down, cool. This right here, so you just have to hold because maybe you'll take an L, maybe you're not. We'll see. This is not looking too great. I'll just keep holding. Okay, this is where you can decide to take out a bit. So in this situation, I'll probably just take out 0.5% or 0.5, or 50% or 90%. The reason why 90% potentially is because we're going the opposite way. But as for this, guys, obviously we're holding till down here. Let's see what happens. Also, bring it to break even when you think price, like when price hits areas where price can come back up, if that makes sense. Boom. Simple like that. A simple 1 to 4.6. Now, we move on to the next day. We don't want to trade too much because price already made a massive move. We had a massive win. But we can see it still works. That is absolutely beautiful here. I only do it during Asians session, so I don't know what happens after, if it still applies in terms of the strategy. Obviously, the strategy doesn't always appear. That's why I like trading multiple, but I decided to keep it 2 pairs, AED/JPY and Euro AED. Sorry guys, I'm also very tired, so if I slur my words, support pretty fast out of the region. Close my eyes, didn't see it. I'll make sure to prepare for both sides, just so I don't miss. Go back to the hour. See, this trade right here is a bit of a difficult one because price already broke through. So in situations like this, what you do is you just wait and just see what price does and go off your own, I guess, intuition in a way. With this, price can definitely do something like this. Push up like that, sort of like that, or it can go something like this, or it can do something like this. So there's multiple options here. Probably not the best to take the sell, but we'll just see what happens. I think this is a fake out. I get the feeling price is going to do something like this. Boom, boom. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so since price, obviously faked out, we are going to leave this. Sorry. We're going to wait for price to break through this area. This one's going to be a bit of a difficult one because support and resistance are both in the same area. That's essentially what we're expecting price to do here. Is we expect price to break through here, come back down, continue going up. The price decides to come back up here. Guess not. Right now, price sort of did the move in terms of broke down, come back up to retest, continue pushing down. This is where you would risk less because it's not a beautiful setup. On top of that, you want to check the deviation. So I'm just going to check the deviation real quick. Price has moved 18%, so almost 20. So if price wanted to push up, it would also make sense. Since I want a bit more confirmation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for price to do something like this. This was not the cleanest sell, but I'll take it. I wouldn't actually usually risk this amount. I would usually risk half just because the setup's really not that clean. I'm risking too little now. There we go. Let's see what happens. Okay, price just instantly took me out, is what it is. Cool. So what price did here is it did the move, but since it was so choppy, took me out in the process. Came down. Oh, now I would low-key expect price to at least come back down here. Could be wrong. Let's see. Price also likes playing around, so price came down here. But see, this would have been a rough battle. I can understand why price came up here because it's at the best, not the best area. I guess you can say the best area to take itself, but not the secure. there's some risk on here because price can just break through and retest. But as we took an L for today, we leave it like that. Go to the next day. And I guess there's lessons learned right there, which is like if price is just not looking good, just don't take the trade. One, two, three, four. So this place here is looking really pretty strong. That. See, this trade here is looking nice. All we gotta do is wait for price to break out of one of these areas, and then we just support it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay. So any potential problem is you see these areas right here. This could act as price rejecting off it. So it could reject like this, and since these two are in line, I would expect price to come straight down, something like that. We got to add this real quick. We want to take a sell. We want price to do something like this. Boom, boom, boom. Vice versa for up here. That's if price stops ranging. There we go. Now we're waiting for price just to come back in now. Sometimes price can leave you. See, this type of trade, not the greatest because it didn't really do exactly what I wanted, but it's sort of in line. Also risky because price deviated 20%. But we'll just see how it reacts to this area when it comes. There we go. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, we're going to wait for price. If we're ever going to take a sell here, we're going to wait for price to come back down here like this, retest, continue pushing down. With that being the case, no trade today. Looks guys, as you can see, I'm doing this pretty quickly, so not going to be the cleanest sort of thing. Oh, oh, no, I'm about to say I like this, but price already. Hold on, let's do 4 hour. Ricky just spoiled myself. What is this? There we go. This one's going to be a bit different because look how far price deviated. So this trade's just going to be a bit different and a bit harder to read. What we really do is we just wait for price to honestly just break past the 1 hour. So for this, this is going to be a really good buy just because the highest selling areas up here. we'll see what the price is. Let's see. See, since price didn't really give me, I guess at times I can mark out something like this, but it's not really clear. You know, I guess you can, but it's not really clear. So I'll just wait for prices to go to one of these two areas. But since also price made something like this, next time price comes down, I'll wait for it to hit this, tap, boom. As for right here, something like that. Let's see what price does. Breakthrough, tap, okay, practically did it. Now waiting for a buy. This is good. I'll put this Lakey somewhere here. And I'll probably look at what the price could do is could easily reject off this area. Oh fuck, already. This is what it is. Since there's no 1 hours, for a 30-minute. Right here. Gotta be careful of those. So we can easily look for something like 1 to 2. But since this price is pretty good, especially at 11 p.m. a.m., I would say it's on a bad buy. Let's just see. Great push. Oh, so now price has to break through this area. It's going to be tough. Price didn't end up breaking through that area. Is what it is. This is where one loss is done. Oh, the price is going to do something good there. Okay, for this, we just skip the day. What is it now? It is what it is. Price just rejected that monthly open price. See them tired, guys. Low key. My next win, I'm going to stop this and take us to sleep. We'll sleep. See, with this, I don't like how price is moving so much. But at least it's giving me like some space to target. Okay. Since this price was so strong, I'm just gonna make sure I have something like that there. Lines up well as well. Not too bad. Now, guys, we just wait for price to do the exact same thing, which is literally, this is gonna be a bit tough one. A bit of a tough one. But there we go. Let's see what price does. Breaks through. Retests. Okay, that's the sell, guys. That's the sell. Put this right above here. It is a bit of a wide one. But we're just gonna take that sell. Price already moved pretty early. This is what it is. We have to watch out for this monthly open price too, and the daily. But honestly, something like that. So let's see what price does. Nice breakthrough. No, don't do that. Don't do that to me. So with this, guys, I would potentially think of taking out if price hits this area. Just taking out 50%. So what I would do, honestly, bring it to break even. Could be bad because price may need some room to breathe. Nice. Break through. Now I can pretty much chill. How? Okay. Since price didn't want to do that, leave that down. I'm just going to wait for price to come back up a bit. If it doesn't, cool. It's going to be tough. So I expect price. Once price breaks through there, I'm going to wait for the retest. Wait for a retest. Break through and retest. Oh no. Here it is. I was about to say that's a retest. Okay, so price never did that. Okay, right here then. Okay, price is moving with so much volume, it doesn't even matter. So we just skip this day. That's where you'll be like a break-even day. One, two. Like that. Okay, so since this is up here, guys, I'm just gonna move this. Nice. Okay. So what we're looking for here, guys, simply, I don't know what's going to happen with this purely because price is already there before a usage session. So I would like price to push up a bit, come back down, continue pushing up. Nice, come back down. Okay, there we go. That's enough. Now we're just going to want to see a breakthrough. Okay, this is going to be a tough one, but we're just going to take that one. Put it right over here. I'll take another buy on that. I'll take another buy on that. Let's see what happens. Nice breakthrough. Since price has already made a 1-to-1, I'm also looking for any areas where price could mess me up. So maybe at this 1-to-1, guys, if I start seeing price slowing down, I'll take out 50%. But let's just see. Nice. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at that. This is where I'll probably take out 50%, maybe. Boom. Now I'll just hold this. I'll hold it. I see price rejecting this area. Price push it down maybe one more time. Nope. Hold on. Can hold it for a bit more. Okay, I've taken out. So I essentially took out there, but I'll just take it out here. Boom. And you would call this a simple one to 4.5 in like what, 30 minutes? Something crazy. Yeah. That's essentially the strategy I'm abusing. If you guys like this, hit that like, subscribe, catch you later.